Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle.
Mr. Rob O'Hara.
Sprite Castle.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? It is Sunday night. I am just opened a cold one. I am testing something new today, which is this generic Xbox 360 controller, which I have hooked up to my PC, and I've got working on a few different systems, and I've now, it looks like, I've got it working on MAME. So let's make sure all of our volumes are set here. Everything looks pretty good. Why do I have that muted? I don't know. Oh, that's might be a double there. Let's see what we get here. Okay, I'm getting that audio. Let's see if this comes through here. I don't see that coming through the audio. Let's try this one more time here. Oh, there we go. Now we got some audio going. All right, let's see what we got on her. Hey, it's Pixels at Dawn. The first in wins the prize. And the prize is being the first person in. I wish there was a better prize. There's not really a good prize. Let me see. Things I'm learning to do. I'm learning to mute my phone before starting streaming. That's a good one. Learning that one. Learning to bring the beer into this room, into the dungeon. So I don't know if people know the story of Sprite Castle, but I'll tell you the old story. A long time ago, video games were made with pixels. And so graphics were done by pixels, and this was old Atari and 8-bit games. And eventually, the world's greatest computer known to man was released, and that was the Commodore 64. And the Commodore 64 had the ability to put pixels together and move them as an independent object, and those were called sprites. And this led to, in my opinion, some of the greatest games ever made for home computers. But what happened is that time moved on. We got 16-bit consoles and 16-bit computers and CD-ROMs and all these other fancy things. And so all the Sprite games were collected up and basically thrown away. Nobody wanted to play all those old games anymore. And I like to think that they were rounded up and tossed into a dungeon at the bottom of a castle. And that castle is known as Sprite Castle. And so that's where I like to go every now and then to hang out. I go down to the Sprite Castle and I go dig up all those old games and give them a play. That's not bad for something I just made up just now. Maybe that will become the official intro to Sprite Castle. Who knows? Tonight, so if you listen to Pixel Guide-In's podcast, they have a beer on their podcast, and they rate and review a beer. And I got to tell you, I'm not that fancy of a guy. I mean, I'm literally the guy for the longest time when we would go out to the pub or something, and I'd be like, I'll take a Bud Light, and then every head, like you hear the needle scratch, and everybody goes, "Whoa." And then I was like, I've graduated to ordering Tecatis, if they have it, or Dos Equis, things like that. But I'm trying to expand my boundaries. And so one of those things is on Pixel Guide-In, they talk about different beers. And I can't normally find the specific beers that they mentioned, but I can find things that are similar. They just mentioned a peanut butter stout beer. And so I just found, I went to the local liquor store and I was like, I try not to explain. I'm like, there's these guys on the internet. And then the lady at the liquor store is like, so I'm like, I don't lead with that. I just say, hey, I'm looking for a peanut butter stout. And they had one. But while I was looking there, they also have this brand called Over the Barrel, which is what these are. And they have multiple different ones. They have an apple cider. They have a root beer Over the Barrel. And they're not bad. I mean, they're like 5.5, 5.5%. But then they also have these, which are cream soda. And I got to tell you, these cream sodas, they go down pretty smooth. They go down a little too smooth. So, we got our cream soda. We got our Mario Brothers. It looks like we got our sound. So, let's give this a shot and see how things go here. You'll have to let me know if that's too loud or too soft or anything. I think I've got it adjusted just about right. There's not too much sound in this game. Oh, that sounds super loud. His little footsteps there. It looks like the default high score. Oh boy, I've already messed up my high score thing here. I will just tell you, I'm pretty good at Mario Brothers. What's that score up there? 12,000? Yeah. I spent some time for a while. Really, yeah. Let's, I think, yeah, P is pause. Let's go down here. I think that's under sliders. Oh, yeah, I thought I set this before. And I guess it doesn't save that. There we go. It still seems a little... The thing is that you don't really need to know what it sounds like to play Mario Brothers. Everybody knows what it sounds like anyway. Alright, so I will show you a score generating trick on Mario Brothers. This is a secret. The trick, and you can only do this on this one specific level. You can only do this on level 2. Oh no, I just messed it up. I screwed up the whole thing. Well, now you don't get to see it until I play again. But you can, if you do it right, you can create a little wall of turtles in there. Oh, that was dumb. This controller is not exactly what I'm used to. It's not bad. Let's run up some points there. You know what? Let's see if I can do it again. Since I didn't kill any of the turtles. Okay, let's go get that guy. No. I've messed it up. So the key for Mario Brothers high scores is getting combos when getting animals and getting every single coin. And so if you don't get every single coin, you don't get every single animal, and if you can't get the maximum amount of... Oh, that was dumb. Yeah, I agree with you on the sound of 8-bit games. They can be a little sharp. Alright, so this should be the first coin level. I have not played this in a few months. So I was doing a thing for a while where I was really trying to work up and build up my score. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times when I play this, I just play it with a keyboard. But I wanted to try this controller and see how this works. Now we get into the old double hit creatures. This is the first variation. These are the lobsters that you have to hit twice. Now, they follow a set pattern, but I have screwed up everything. You know what I'm going to do is after this round, now that I know the joystick works, I'm going to switch over to the keyboard. One of the big keys to this game, to the original Mario Brothers, is being able to look at a creature on any level and know what direction they're going to come out. So if one's coming from the right tube, you got to know he's coming there. You got to know he'll move left to right there. I mean, they don't change direction unless they hit things, but it's just a way of you have to be able to see them at the top and not be able to count and go through all those things. But you have to be able to just instinctively look at them and know which way they're going to go. There we go. I don't think I'm going to make it. Yeah. This game... it came... So this version of this came with the Spectrum. Alright, I'm going to show you a trick here if I can do this quickly enough. I messed it up already. This is a terrible round of Donkey Kong for me. And I'm really much better than I'm making myself look. It's funny because the one of the first games I saw for the Commodore 64 was Donkey Kong, and it was because it was available on cartridge. So my neighbors across the street had a Commodore 64, and they did not have a disk drive or a data set. They only had... all right, let's do this real quick. Let me show you how to do this. So you want to group these guys. So you get that guy, 1, 2. Now we want to, if these both come out the same side, I screwed it up. Let's just go ahead and get that guy. And then depending on how these guys run, so since they're on opposite sides, golly. Yeah, so my next door neighbors had Donkey Kong on cartridge, and so that was definitely one of the, if not the very first game I saw, it was one of the first games that I saw. So like that guy going to the tunnel down there to the right, you should just like, you shouldn't have to figure out, oh, I mean, that's a dumb example, but you should just instinctively know he's going to be coming up on the right, and when he drops down, he'll be on the left. This is, I'm going to move to the keyboard right now and see what this does. See if this is any easier. So now we're getting into the Icy Levels. So you should be able to hit, yeah, I missed that, but you should be able to hit double coins there, double coins there. If you miss one, don't double back, and you still have just enough time to drop back down and do that. Alright, let's get my keyboard where I like it here. Oh, that was stupid. Alright, you should be able to do that. That. Let's get that guy, and then that guy. I don't know if I like that better than the joystick or not. Let's go back to the D-pad here. Maybe I just need to get used to the 360's D-pad. You should wait. Yeah, if you wait just a second, that fireball will generate. And what I like to do, wait for that. Up here, you can hit these fireballs, and fireballs are worth 1,000 points. I really want that guy to bounce off him, and right into him, exactly as I planned. We're just getting warmed up here. Oh, no, 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 no. All right, here we go. So yeah, Donkey Kong was one of the earliest released Commodore 64 cartridges. So even if you didn't have a disk drive, you could get that. I wish that fireball would be coming. Alright. There we go. Get that out of the way. Now if you time it just right, then you can go there. No, I can't clear that guy. I believe on my other computer, I had this running on my other machine before I moved it in here, and I want to say that my high score was that was stupid, 180,000 or whatever, which is not a bad score. You wouldn't know it from how I'm playing tonight, unfortunately, but yeah, let's just kill this. Oh, I was actually trying to kill myself. I really wanted to start over. There we go. You wouldn't think it'd be so hard to kill myself. So there is a, you know what, we may, before the night's over, I don't think I'll be doing this too terribly long tonight, but before this is over, I may switch over to the Commodore 64 version of Mario Brothers, just so you can see the difference. But it's really, like I said, it's funny that when this started, I don't, AZ9K9, .31, 1010, I think 1010, I think you said something in the chat. I think I saw you there pop in. When this came out, I mean, obviously, this was my favorite trivia about this game was that we learned in, well, of course, in Donkey Kong, we learned that, well, in Donkey Kong, Mario's name was just Jumpman, right? But in this game, we learned that it's brothers, and they are the Mario brothers. But also we learned that their first names are Mario and Luigi, which means Luigi's name is Luigi Mario, and Mario's name is Mario Mario. Oh my gosh. Now the thing is, what you can do, I mean, you can get all three of these guys, and I could easily get that third guy there, but then I wouldn't get the money for these coins if I was really, really trying to build up a good score here. So like, now that I know that guy is going right, I need to just automatically, instinctively know. Now here's another thing I'm going to do. If I were trying to really run up a score, get that fireball for $1,000 or 1,000 points, but now you got to go down here and hide because he's going to come down here and it's going to be much faster. Oh, fried a little Mario. Now you can hit this a second time, like that, and get 1,000 points. Now it's going to be super fast, and unless you're ready for that, it's not that much fun. So let's let that get out of the way. So, see, I'm at almost 7,000 points. All right, now let's see if I can do this. I'm looking at my D-pad, I got everything set up here. So this is a trick that you can only do on level 2, and it's a way to really boost your points up in a hurry. So we build this little wall of flipped over turtles. Now he's going to bounce back, he's going to come back, we're going to bounce him back again. We need to do the same thing over here, and bounce back. Now remember when we flip, oh, we're going to miss one. So, yeah, I didn't quite get them all. But see, I can start building up a little bonus thing like that. So after 2,400, they're all worth 3,200, and let's get that. It's just out of reach. All right, good get to the coin. So what year would that have been, the pack-in for the Spectrum? I don't know. Oh, I'm not paying attention. I should know it was a bonus. So the key here is to get a pattern. There's multiple patterns, but just pick one to stick with it. I get that one. I got that. Try to hit both of those, which I missed. Both of those, which I got. And then just keep going the same way. Don't change left and right. And you should have plenty of time to get it. I did I believe it's one of the Sprite Castle plays, one of the very early ones I did, where I did all 3 versions of Donkey Kong for the Commodore 64. There's a the Ocean one, there's a Nintendo one, and then there's the there's an arcade port that was made in 2016. Ooh. And the cool thing about the arcade one that they released in 2016 is it's basically letterbox. It has the right. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's a good. So let's take both those guys and bump them down like that. Get our bonus, and now we got extra man. And if we can do the same thing with these guys, we'll wrap this level up. There we go. Now I think this should be the Firefly. So let me try to do this a little better than I did last time. I'm going to miss my thing because I'm drinking beer. Yeah, missed it. Dang it. Screwed up the whole level. Screwed up the whole level. Good job, Fireflies. Oh, that was good. Good use of the old POW there, O'Hara. Oh, I missed it. Get rid of this guy. So you can see the green one always bounces. So, so to hit the green one from underneath, you got to time that little bounce. All right, let's try this again. Let me show you this pattern. Get up here. Get up here. Now the trick is hitting it right on the edge. There's. Oh, I missed it again. God bless America. That's right. Now we got these guys. If they come from the same direction, it's easy to get them both. If they don't, you got to let one drop down, and then we should have 2 more Fireflies. And again, it just depends on if they come from the same direction or not. Pretty simple. Get some coins, 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 and then just gotta get out of town before that green fireball shows up. And so this should be the next coin level. I used to keep track of how fast I could do the coin level. I just screwed it up. There we go. All right, so now there is the key to doing this, to getting a little bit of points, is knock those guys in the same direction, wait here for the fireball to start, and once it starts, get up here. And then you can also do this. Get those guys in the same level. And then get out before that red turtle catches up. I'm gonna miss my coin. No, I'm not. All right. I probably should not admit this, but I have played this while I'm sitting on. Let's not say during work hours or on work telecons, but let's just say on meetings, non-work related meetings, that I probably. What's the best way to put it? I don't know if you have meetings that you ever have to attend or phone calls that don't, like aren't taxing your brain 100%, you know? And, man, this game is good to zone out to, especially once things start getting fast and busy. You can really just kind of let your brain just, after a while in this game, I've played this game for a long time, for many, many years, and after a while, you stop looking at individual parts of the screen and I just stare at the center of the screen, and you can kind of start seeing where things are coming and going. It makes it easier to play that way. Right. There is a way to do this one. And I don't think they're close enough. Good job jumping over the coin and not getting it. Ooh, let's get that guy. There we go. Next extra man. And by the way, you can only get 2 extra men. And so we have got them. One is at 40,000 and one is at 100,000. Alright, now let's see if I can do this. Get him, and then get him. Oh, I missed it. Timing is just a little bit off with this controller. I'm going to say it's lag, which it's probably not. But that seems to be the thing, and that's what my kids tell me. Oh, wasn't watching that. That's what they tell me all the time. They're like, oh, there's too much lag. I died because of lag. There is, I've noticed in some of the different emulators there is actually input lag. It just depends on what system you're playing on, what port you're playing on, what monitor you're using. It all kind of adds up, you know. Now, I gotta say that I'm not a world record player. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if you go, oh, look at that, that's giving you... I guess I would say if the lag's in milliseconds, it's probably not going to affect my terrible gameplay. Like, the reason I'm doing bad right now is not because of lag, I would say. Woo! Oh! It was lag! Lag caused it. Did you see that lag hit me with the fireball? I really didn't want to time that exactly like that, but... Also, if you play a lot of Mario Brothers, you'll start to recognize all the sounds, like the sound when something's coming out of the tube, or a sound when different things are happening. And then that way you don't have to sit there and watch every single thing. You just kind of know when things are happening. And especially one thing you have to be able to listen for is that little low rumble that starts when the green fireball starts. Yeah, you know, I've joked about this on another stream, earlier stream I did, but when you're talking about difficulty level that streaming adds, I'm not that good at doing one thing at a time, and I'm really bad at doing 2 things at a time. And this is 3 things at a time. So, I mean, that's how I feel. It's playing the game. It's talking about the game. And it's reading, stealing glances at the chat box every now and then. And then it's trying to deal with the lag. There's probably somebody out there that's like, I don't know why he was talking bad about me. I really did have lag in my game. Oop. For a real high score attempt, you really have to go for, oh, here we go, the disappearing level. So, if you know where to jump and get your coins, which I missed, you should be able to do this one. Let's see, I'm not going to run out of time. Yeah, I missed it. That's embarrassing. One of the first games that I discovered, or that I learned about MAME and save states, was this game. And so to practice the higher levels, I would get to a higher level, and then I would use save state, you know, and then just play those levels over and over. And that was kind of how I practiced in the beginning. $138. So this should be, yeah. Oh, that was lucky. I shouldn't have got away with that. Oh, karma got me. Karma got me back. You know what I would like is, I'm sure there probably is. You know, it's amazing that, of course, I'm just now scratching the surface with Twitch and all these amazing capabilities that it has and that other things have. But wouldn't it be amazing if they could somehow do a text-to-speech, and I could just be sitting here playing, and then it would be like, Pixels of Dawn says, you are not good at this game. That was not my impression of Pixels at Dawn, by the way. That was just my that was my impression of text to speech. But it would have to have a feature where it could figure in people's accents too. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody has done that. Are you guys familiar at all with SAM, which is the voice synthesizer program from the Commodore 64? I think it's a program that, like, literally every single Commodore 64 user had. And what was so funny is you know, it goes through, it has this little demo. And when we were kids, it was so amazing that, you know, everybody had watched it and seen it 1,000 times, you know. I am Sam, the voice synthesizer for the Commodore 64 computer, you know. And, oh, your friend is blind. Yeah. So, you know, I will tell you this. I did, for a while at work, I'm not a web developer, but really what I am is a jack of all trades. So I've done web development, I've done scripting, I've done security stuff, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert in any of those things. But it's just when those things come up, I'm like, oh, well, I'll figure it out, you know. And so I'm the guy that figures it out and eventually hands it off to somebody who's either smarter or younger than me, and they can run with it, you know. But I'm like the guy that sets it up. Right now I'm doing that with a Tableau. We got a license for Tableau, and we have a need for, you know, setting up some data stuff. So I'm not a data guy, but I've written all these PowerShell scripts that pull stats and things out of Active Directory, and so we're figuring out a way to get it in Tableau. And I'm assuming at some point we'll get a Tableau person, and I'll hand that project off. But anyway, so at one point in time, we had this is like in the early days when we were moving to Active Directory stuff, and we wanted to set up, we had this tool that would set up, it was a self-service password, SSO, and end user could log on to reset their own password instead of having to call the help desk and wait and all these things. And so I set it. I was like, yeah, man, I've made 1 million websites. I can set this up. And they had some sort of API thing, and you plugged it in, and it was no big deal. And I set this thing up, and it got audited, and we got dinged because it wasn't 508 compliant. I didn't know anything about that. And of course, 508 compliant means that it can be easily scraped for, basically visually impaired visitors and stuff. And so they have to be able to, it has to be able to read the text. So that doesn't mean you can't have graphics, but it means you have to have, the underlying, even if it's hidden HTML, but something that the text to speech things can pick up on, And so, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to restart here because I can talk and play. I'll try to talk and play at the same time. I had an experience in my very early days in my IT career where I ran into a guy that I call these types of people gatekeepers. And these are the guys that, have information and they don't want to share it with you. They're the guys that they set this program up, or they're the ones that figure it out, and by golly, they're going to keep all the secrets. They're going to keep all the accounts. They're going to keep all the passwords. They don't want your help. They don't want you working on them. They don't want you doing anything with them, right? And this specific program that the guy was working on, I mean, it was not there was one experience where I had this, and the guy worked on our corporate antivirus, and he was like, "No, I'm the antivirus guy," And I was like, "Well, there might be other ways to do this or that or whatever." Oh, here we go. I'm going to do it. Watch this. So knock that guy over, and then wait for him to turn over. Boom. Now watch. Oh, I got one trapped in the middle. Didn't work exactly perfect, but pretty close. And, he was like, "No, I'm the antivirus guy." And I'm, okay, you're the antivirus guy. I don't want to step on your toes or nothing, And so I kind of learned from that guy, And so when I would set up, I keep missing that one jump. Again, the way that, now I've blown it. Yeah, not in the first level because you get so much time. But I always do just keep running in one direction. So that's how I set up. That's kind of how I modeled the way I did business. So when I set up a website and people were like, "Hey, how can I log into that?" I was like, "No, that's mine," that sort of thing like that. And what I found real quickly was that tied me to that stuff, And so then I wasn't free to do other things. But then I met another guy. This sounds like like a parable or something, like I'm making it up. I'm not making it up. This is actually a true story. The thing was that he was like, "Man, I hate doing the same thing over and over. I don't like doing the same stuff." And so he said, "I set it up. I turn it over to somebody. I let them run it, and I move on to the next thing. I go do other fun stuff, And I was like, "Man, that sounds like a much better way to do business." You know what I mean? So that's I kind of adopted that mentality, and I've been doing that for 20 years basically. I think just I'm just not interested. I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to always be the antivirus guy. You know what I mean? I want to do other stuff. And so man, I messed this level all up. See what you made me do? I was telling a story and you screwed up all my stuff. See what you did? You messed me up by making me talk on a podcast or on a stream. But yeah, and that just made more sense to me. And it's kind of counterintuitive. And I'll tell you the other part of it is that at the time I was working as a contractor. And so there was there was always that concern about job security. When you were a contractor and you were worried that, somebody might come along behind you and take your job. If you shared a little bit too much info, well, then maybe you wouldn't be valuable, All right, I'm going to do this time. I'm going to show you how to do this. God, it kills me. All right. There we go. So there's 1, 2. Get the bonus for that. And if they come out the same side, which they're not going to. Yeah, I didn't get all the bonus, but it was close. Alright, and we're going to do the same thing again. You could wipe these levels out really quick. So you got to hit this guy running, then hit that guy and knock him back the other way. Get 800 and 600. Now, if these guys come out the same side, which they have, then that's easy. And then we'll have 2 more of those little insect bugs. Again, we'll do the exact same thing. Right. And right before that guy lands, you got to get out of the way, or you'll accidentally get him. You know. You know, in my first job, well, I started off with the Federal Aviation Administration. I started off as a contractor. All right. There we go. That's how you do it. My best time ever is 4.0 flat. 3.8. I started off on a help desk, and then I moved to a what we call a flight standards office. It's an office where flight inspectors work, and so those are the guys that go out and look at airplanes and make sure that they're you know, safe to fly and all that kind of stuff. And they're also the guys that go out and give licenses and things like that. Oh, this is bad. And anyway, it was early enough that we didn't have a centralized national solution for a lot of stuff. So I was literally 2 things. One was I was the office, not just the IT guy. I was the everything guy. I was the phone guy. I was the printer guy. I was the server guy. I was the desktop guy. I mean, I was everything. So, you know, that was good experience for just, I mean, if you wanted to be the guy that was in charge of fixing stuff, that's what I did. And the thing that was fun about it was literally, it wasn't just something different every day. It was like 100 different things every day, you know? All right, I had to stop talking because that was hard. I hate to waste that, but... yeah, I mean, I definitely remember, you know, people coming in, they'd come pound on my door and, oh, you know, this printer's not working, and then you'd have to run over and figure out what's going on with the printer, or, you know, I can't get on the network. My email doesn't work. I changed my password 72 times yesterday, and now I don't remember which one I used. You know, it was all that stuff. And it kind of drove me crazy for a little bit because I was like, man, I'm just being run ragged. You know, I was constantly doing different stuff, but, you know, as IT, you know, matured over time, and we centralized, and, you know, so instead of having a help desk for every different part of the country, and we had a centralized national help desk, and you know, instead of having different things like that, you know, we got more specialized, and you know, I don't know which is better or which is worse. I mean, obviously the stovepipe, you know, putting all your resources in one place is bad. Oh, I thought I could get into that. But so I realize from an efficiency standpoint, it's better to do business that way. But I can also tell you from a fun standpoint, it's not as much fun. Now, the way that my job works and that our organization works is that they open different positions and you can bid on them. So if you're not doing something that you enjoy doing and you want to go try something else, well, you just apply for that job and you go do it. And I've done that several times in my career. And the first job that I bid on was, golly, I've made a mess on this level, and I've got to clean it up here. I've got too much crap running around. Nope. I worked in our server room for not quite a decade, but quite a while. And man, that was a crash course in doing, you know, networking support. It was we did everything. All right, let's get to the bottom of this nonsense here. Oh, I missed him. God, this level. What have I done to myself here? And then the fireballs sped up, and those guys are going fast. Alright, let's get the fireball away. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was stupid. Why would I make the fireball even faster? I might as well just have Mario eat it here. Things are out of control on the old Sprite Castle podcast tonight, folks. I couldn't even get to the POW in time. Alright, where are we at here? Let's give this one more shot, and then we'll jump over to the Commodore 64 version for a little comparison. So anyway, I took a job in security, and I you know, and it was because, like I said before, you know, the antivirus guy was still the antivirus guy. I mean, it had been like 5 years later, you know, and he was like, "Nope, I'm the antivirus guy." Well, okay, and he never moved on. He never did anything, and I, you know, had kind of been the you know, everything guy. And what ended up happening was we needed somebody to do security stuff. And so I started doing web security. I started doing vulnerability scans and web scans and database scans and network scans and, you know, figuring out how to do all this probing and fun stuff like that. And a position came up with the government for being a basically a white hat internal pen tester. And so that's what I did for a couple of years. I went around, and so the way that it worked was my government agency hired out business to... Oh, this is level 2. I missed the whole stupid trick. Oh, so I would go to... they would loan me out, or hire us out, to go to other government agencies and do penetration tests. And so sometimes it would be very simple ones, like I mean, just like a prearranged network scan. I would show up and shake everybody's hand, and they'd give me a cubicle, and I'd go sit there and just run network scans, you know, and it was no big deal. And then sometimes they wouldn't tell them I was coming, and I mean, of course, upper management always knows. But they would just say, "Hey, you know, sometime during this 2-week period, we're going to scan your network and see what happens." And so I did some of that, and then I did some actual physical type of, not anything like TV, like not, you know, I didn't rappel in the side of a building or nothing, but you know, things like, you know, hey, while you're in this office, see what you can get access to, see what rooms you can get to, see, you know, things like that. So it was a fun job. Not something that when most people think of government work, that's not what they think of. But that was a fun job. And then my old organization was hiring, and so I went back to them. And I've done a lot of different things with them ever since. I ran a PII, which is a personal identifiable information. I ran our internal PII scanning program for a while, which was people hate because it is a system that prevents people from, well, it prevents PII from being transferred over the network, which is like your social security number or your government ID or your, you know, things like that. And so what happens a lot is people, especially around April in the United States, during work hours, decide they want to work on their taxes. Oh, man. Gee willikers. And this is going to be one of those levels. Things are already out of control. And so people would work on their taxes, and then they would try to download their tax forms at work, and then it would get flagged. And it wasn't just the email system. Like, we would check if they were trying to save those things to the network, or if they were trying to copy them to a USB drive and things like that. Our program would catch it, and we would have to do those things. Yeah, so here's the problem. Here's the problem with allowing people to send their social security number. Yes, they're allowed to do it, but the problem is that they're doing it. Well, there's two things. One is we're never sure if they're doing it intentionally. That's one of the problems. So we can't see on our side. We couldn't see whether or not they were, had intentionally were trying to send their social security number. We just saw it going across. And so, you're trying to protect people from, if they have malware or virus or something like that, of something slurping their SSN out to the internet. But the other thing, well, of course, we also have spear phishing, attacks where people will send these, got it. Oh, I missed it. Giant phishing, nets to everybody, star at government email addresses, and say, "Hey, this is your boss. I need your SSN." And then people respond, and so what happens is then these employees hold. Oh man, I flipped over Larry. Sorry, Larry. Then they hold the government responsible, and they're like, "Hey, why didn't you protect me from doing something dumb I was trying to do?" And so that's the problem. It's the same reason why, when people say like, "Man, it wouldn't let me click that link." Well, that's, but if we did let you click that link and you got a virus, you'd be more upset. So I didn't love being in, I loved operational security. I loved pen testing and scans and all that stuff. I had a web scan. I mean, basically it was being like a white hat, like a good guy hacker. I had this web scanner that I would use, and it had a thing on there called I called it the painometer. And basically what it was this little slide thing on the scanner, and it would it had different settings of like, all right, if you put it at a 1, it would try to find vulnerabilities, and if you put it at number 2, it would do different things. And like number 5, like the highest level, it would say like, "I will try to overwrite your database." And so I got so I had registered the scanning software, and so we got a call one time. I got a call from Aircraft Registry, and they called to say that this pilot was calling to report that they were saying basically that this guy his plane was not registered, and for some reason the plane was registered to me, which didn't make any sense. I don't own a plane. Anyway, what had happened is that I had done a database scan, and with the old painometer like cranked up as high as it would go, and I always had default numbers that I would search for when I was looking through a database or whatever. And this guy's number happened to be, the record number for his entry was 12345, which is a default number that I would always look for. Oh, this is bad. I got by. And so anyway, so it had overwritten his information in the on the mainframe database. So we had to pull that information from the old backup and go back. So the reason I got out of scanning, or network, or not network, but security in general, was because it was Number one, the main thing is that it had a lot of travel. And so all these different places that we were doing, is that going to kill me? No. That we were doing scans for were located in different cities. So in 1 year, I went to like, I did a scan in Denver. I did a scan in New York City. I did a scan, Research Triangle, I think is what it's called, and I believe the Carolinas. I went to a, I can't say where it was, but I went somewhere in Research Triangle, and was attempting to do a pin test, but both physical and network. And I went down this hallway, and it was the first time I'd ever seen one in real life. Was a retina scanner. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And so I was staring at it, and I mean, I was just sitting there looking at it, you know, and this voice comes over the speaker, and they're like, sir, do you need something? I was like, oh, no, I was just looking at this whole thing. I've never seen one. And he was like, yeah, he goes, just know that you can't trick it. It's not going to open by you staring at it. I was like, okay, thanks. You know, and then I went by like 2 minutes later. I was looking at it again, and the same voice comes over, and the guy's like, sir, do you need something? I was like, nope. I was just looking. But he was right. I was not able to fool it by just randomly staring at it over and over. But yeah, it was fun. But also, I would say this, you know, every time that I would do something like for security things or whatever, you know, I would, oh, I just fell. I wasn't paying attention. Every time that I would, like go online to research something, I would find out that there were kids that were 10 or 15 years younger than me, that knew way more about everything than I did, you know, and that was, yeah, I'm gonna get killed right here. But that was, and I, you know, I this is coming from a guy in his 40s who's just learning how to do Twitch, so perhaps it was not only security that applied to, but you know, it was just this thing where there were people that were dedicating their lives to learning about you know, the ins and outs of Linux kernels and stuff, and I just didn't know as much as them. I knew how to use the software, and I knew, you know, a few tricks, and I knew some stuff, but I just didn't know as much as a lot of the guys that were doing it. And then again, like I said, the travel just got old after a while. When I started it, I had one kid, and by the time I ended, I had 2 kids, and just wanted to be home. But it was fun. And there's always that moment, you know, like where you find a vulnerability and you're like, yeah, I'm the man. Here's another thing. I had to have a secret clearance, because if you think about it, I was traveling. So what would happen is I would travel, you know, to a customer site, and I would do a vulnerability scan, and then essentially I would have a list of all the things they didn't want anybody to know stored on a laptop, and then I would travel back with all that information stored on that laptop. So I was transferring around you know, vulnerabilities to government agencies, and so I had a pretty serious I don't want to exaggerate, but I had to have a above the security clearance that I started with. So everybody has to have a basic security clearance with the government when you start. But this was like, this is a funny story. This is 100% true. I have a security clearance to ram my head into an ice. If they saw this gameplay, they might think their guess, their choice. I used to live across the street from a guy, and what did we? It didn't quite top out. I used to live across the street from a guy, and he went to work at the same time every morning that I went to work. And so he would walk out, and I would walk out. And I wasn't particularly friends with the guy, but I mean, we were friendly. We were neighbors. That's the end of that one. I brought in a second one here, which we'll open in a second. It's something different that I've never tried before. We're going to try it tonight live on the show, first time. And so every day I would walk out and I would go, hey, like that. And he was way across the street and he would go, hi, you know. And then we would get in our cars and he would pull out and I would pull out and we'd drive out of the neighborhood. And I mean, we did this for months, you know, and probably years. Hi, and drive to work, you know. And so when I got this position in security, they told me, you know, I had to sign all these things where they said, hey, we're going to possibly, you know, interview your family or your neighbors and stuff. And when you do, this is, I don't know if people know this, it's not a secret, but when you get a security, like when you get a basic security clearance, you say, hey, go talk to these 5 people, and then they go talk to those 5 people. But then when you move up to the next security level, they say, hey, give me 5 people to talk to. And they go talk to those 5 people, and they ask those 5 people, give me somebody else to talk to. So they immediately start spreading out. So they don't talk to the people that you want them to talk to. They talk to other people, you know. But they also, I did not know this, go talk to your neighbors. And they go ask, you know, I don't know, if you know, they see a lot of luxury cars coming or going, I don't know really what they're looking for is that to find out if you're easily corruptible, you know, because that's the bottom line, what they're trying to protect. And so when let's see, let me guess on our resize on this. It's not bad. Not the bad. And I didn't do all that work on animated torches for nothing, just so nobody could see them. Hey, you know what? While I'm doing this, it doesn't matter, but see, let's do this. R home, nope, R games, C64. Instead of just grabbing the Mario Brothers from the normal, I mean, I have copies of it from all over the place, you know. But what I'm going to do is, yep, every 5 years for me too, for security clearances. I'm going to go find the image. Let me close this. Close this. Let me find Mario Brothers, and what disc is this on? 33B. All right. So let's see if I can find this first. You guys are going to like this. This is going to be worth the wait here in a second. Commodore Images, disc label scans. OKK, which was my old group. And let's go to the left monitor. So these are scans that I did of all my original floppies from back in the days. And 33. The number fell off. Look at that. That sucks. I used cheap labels. These are the number labels were printer labels that I opened up in half. Let's pull this up here. It's me singing Mario. My wife also has to get a security clearance, and and we have it just opposite, so it's like every few years. I don't have to do the invasive ones anymore. This is disc 33 from my original Commodore collection. I got this disc from Jeff. I remember he was the one that had Mario Brothers. Looks like Minnesota Pool maybe be on this. What else here? Mario Brothers, High Noon, Ghost Chaser, Crystal Castles, Crystal Dash Castles. Look how good I was at hyphenating things when I was a little kid. And then Daytona Pick, which is probably some BBS, like a sequential file. But that was just 33 when I was a kid. So let's go. All right. Back here, and then let's go find when we attach disk. And let's go find the old R games C64 OKK collection. I was a founding member of the OK Crackers, which meant almost nothing. And there's Mario Brothers, Crystal Castles, High Noon, Ghost Chaser, Ninja. I don't even know what Ninja is. Menu. You want to see what this is? Let's find out. So every now and then I would write little programs that would like format disks, and I would leave it on them. Enter name, enter sex, weapons skilled with. Somebody can't spell weapons. I don't know if this is. Please make sure this is right. Yeah. Boy, this looks stupid. What is it? Just a thing? Let's run it. Enter name. Jack. Flack. No. I'm going to be Ninja Jack. Enter rank. Well, obviously I'm the head ninja. Why else? I've got a feeling I'm a male. Enter we opens skilled with sword, nunchucks, and fists, obviously. Oh, I didn't like the commas. Oh, well, let's just say swords. Please make sure this is right. Name, Ninja Jack, head ninja, male, we opens, skilled with, sword, can use swords. I guess this would then print out. You know what this is? I think I wrote a thing. I think for I had a club, in the backyard. That's what this is. It's supposed to print it out. See those print number 4? Those are on the Commodore. Those would print to device 4, which would have been my printer. And then I probably would have filed these in something in my fort or something for all my fellow ninjas. You're all now officially in my clan now that I've shared that with you. I'm taking a look here real slow. Mario Boot is the first thing on the disc. So you're all members of my ninja clan. Congratulations. It's funny. This is the other beer that I randomly picked up. This is banana bread beer. Let me tell you everything I know about this. It's banana bread beer. At the end. Oh, no, it's not a twist off. Do I have a bottle opener in here? Hang on, let me check my laptop bag. That's a good place for it. If not, I'm going to the kitchen. You'll have to talk amongst yourselves. Did I ever spend hours entering programs from the magazines at the time? Yeah, every day. All the time. Nope, I have fingernail clippers. I have a USB stick. I have, oh, no. I have a USB to LAN adapter. I have what feels like an iPhone adapter. No. All right. I can be back in 60 seconds. Do 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 do. I hope somebody sang the Mario theme while I was gone. So when I left that security job, I bid on another job and became, oh no, it's Carol. Carol the cat has joined me. 1 second. Carol. You know, I don't watch the those $1 million streamers. I got a feeling they're more professional than this. I got a feeling they're oh, that's something. It's a little bitter. And I guess it has a banana aftertaste. I mean, I see it's made with banana bread. Maybe I imagine the banana aftertaste. It's got an aftertaste. It's like if you like if you had a glass of, like if you had a beer and you weren't paying attention and you dropped a banana peel in there and left it for a week and came back and then you were like, hey, what's that? What's that? And you go, I guess it's a banana peel. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, the type it in the Commodore things, they always had a checksum at the end. Sometimes you could download them. And the problem with those things was, you know, it would say like, hey, here's a game you could type in. And so you would type and do all this stuff. And I'm not saying I didn't do it, but at the end of the day, you would have a really crappy basic game, right? But you know, by the time I was doing that, I also had a modem. So I could dial up and I could download Mario Brothers. So after a while, it didn't make too much sense to do that, you know? Let's hit F1 here. Let's see if I can make that a little quieter. Is that too loud? You guys have to let me know there. So it's, I mean, it's not bad. You can see the physics. It's a little bit more like it's on the moon. Like things are a little floaty. Of course, the big thing that you're missing about, from all this is that the best part about Mario Brothers is playing with a friend. And Mario Brothers is one of many games. I would say, I'm trying to think of other examples. Wizard of War is an example. Joust is an example. And I mean, I guess I would say to a certain extent, Gauntlet is kind of an example. But those are all examples of games where you can agree whether or not to be to get along, to work as partners. And then you could just literally turn around and screw someone in the back. And so, this I think is probably one of the best examples of that game, or of that genre, I guess, because that's the thing, is that you would two people would play, and you would be like, dude, I totally will not, I will not knock you into that turtle, and then they would run over, and then you'd be like, oh, it was an accident. I didn't mean to knock that turtle back over. It was an accident. And then, of course, you would see how many times you could get away with that before they caught on that you were trying to kill them, And then it would be on like the proverbial Donkey Kong, right? And then, hopefully your friend was good-natured. And it didn't lead to a long-term disagreements. So you can see this version's not too bad. It's no Atari 2600 version, I'll tell you that. I definitely did not play this that much when I was younger. I mean, I played it, but not, you know, like I play it now. Now I play it a lot. Like I actually dedicated some time into trying to get, you know, better at this game. What are the odds this will work? Not good. But where I really first started playing it a lot was in Super Mario Brothers 3. And of course, there's the mini game where if you land on the tile on the map where the other person is, then it will bring up the little Mario Brothers mini game, and then you can battle basically for the spot, you know. And so that was kind of where I really started playing Mario Brothers. And it's not the full, you know, thing. It's just the. I'm going to. I'm pretty sure I just heard the Discord sound pop up, so I'm gonna close Google real quick. But you know, so that was where I think I first experienced it. You can see the sprites flickering a little bit. I think it's got a couple too many on the screen. There we go. It's just slow enough where you know, you could really look ahead and see what's about to happen and act accordingly. The thing that I would say that makes it more difficult slightly is that, number one, I did not hear a sound when the green fireball was swirling up, which is, if you play like I play, I mean, like I said, I kind of do that center stare where I'm just staring at the center of the screen and I depend on the, yeah, there's no sound on that. And so if you're waiting to hear that sound cue to be triggered, then that's no good. I would say this Xbox controller is okay. I mean, this is a generic Xbox controller, and I actually bought it a while back because it's compatible with Steam. And so I got it for playing, if you saw me playing, oh, wow, those are loud and annoying. Let's see if, yeah, it doesn't really work like didn't quite do like the pattern's not quite the same as the arcade version. But yeah, so you know, I'm trying to get, I've got OBS set up now where I can stream, well, you saw me streaming MAME and Commodore 64, and I got Exodus working, which I think I showed that the other day. Exodus 5, I got that set up. I forgot who mentioned that on the Discord channel, but boy, it's amazing. Somebody put a lot of work, well, I guess a guy named Exo. It's not some random person, it's a guy. Named it after him. It's like, you know, that's stupid. But yeah, that Exodus is something else. And it's funny because the collector in me, like it says, the program can be set up one of two ways. It says, you know, you can either set it up where you can download the games on demand, you know, as you want to play them, or you could get all the games up front. All the games is 7,200 DOS games. And I'm like, well, why would I want them on demand? Of course I need all 7,200 games. But it turns out the download package for that is over 550 gig. And if you just want the install files, I think it said it was going to be 50 gig, but it was definitely less than that. I think it was like 41 gig or something like that. Oh boy. Problemo. But yeah, so I think I've got all my different, I mean, the stuff. Look, I'm not going to be streaming I mean, I know Pixels, you definitely streamed like some newer stuff, and I just don't play that many newer games, you know. No, 550 gig for the full install. And you know what I'll do before I shut stuff down after this game's over and I'm on my last man, I'll show you the Exodus thing here. But yeah, I mean the one thing I'm definitely one of those people. I'm just not good at first-person shooters, and they actually give me a headache. Like they make me like it's almost like motion sickness, you know. And so, what was so bad, you know, when I was a kid was, when I say kid, you know, young adult. I'm trying to think when like Wolfenstein and Doom, and I remember playing Doom 2 wasn't too bad. I remember playing Doom 2. But then I remember, like, especially by the time Quake came out or whatever, and I was like, boy, what's up with this first-person shooter fad? I hope this goes away. This isn't going to last forever. And then they've literally been making nonstop first-person shooters for, like, 20 years now. Like, I thought at some point that would be over, but it has never been over. And, you know, it's kind of like, it's like a lot of things. Like to me, it's unfortunate. I hate that I feel this way. It makes me feel like a old person, but it's kind of like music where you go, you know, like I remember my dad just like making fun of all my music, you know, and I'd be like, Dad, you just don't know. Motley Crue, they're going to be the biggest thing ever. Actually, Motley Crue is pretty big. But yeah, I remember him getting a little upset when I told him I liked Motley Crue's version of Helter Skelter better than the Beatles. But you know what I mean? You get to that point where you go, I mean, now, like, you know, and my kids listen to whatever they want. But I'm like, is that music? What is that? That's just somebody yelling. Who's this Billie Eilish character? Actually, I like Billie Eilish. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of get to that thing where it makes you feel old. It makes me feel old to feel like things are passing me by. I don't like that feeling. But there are some things, places where I've kind of embraced it. And I think one of those things is in gaming, you know. Oh, let's see. Did Rob silence his alarm that says take out the garbage for tomorrow? He did not. I'm learning the hard way. Pixels is one of those guys, if you don't follow Pixel Stream on Twitch, he is one of the guys that makes this look easier than it is. And, of course, the Amigos do a great job of putting their shows together and stuff like that. And I am a great example. If you want to see like how things go off the rails, that's Sprite Castle. People think that the Sprite Castle podcast is really good, and I'm like, boy, you should hear the unedited version because it's not nearly as good. There's definitely a lot of editing. I used to, man, when I started Sprite Castle, I would go through and I would take out every, you know, and stuff like that, and I just don't, I don't have the time to do that anymore. Yeah, let's just get this over with. All right, 83,000. It's really, I mean, it's, I probably could have done a little better, but comparison, you know, it's not bad. Let's bring up Exodus just because I did that the other day. Let's see. If I bring up the executable, I don't know if it will show up on the screen or not, but if it doesn't, I'll switch over to the other monitor over here. Let's go to games and Exodus. This is Exodus 5 that, again, somebody mentioned on the Amigos Discord. If you're following this stream or watching the stream and you're not a member of the Discord, Amigos Discord, then you can support the Amigos. I would plug them before I would plug myself. But you can follow them, support them on Patreon. You can support me on Patreon, but any of those things will get you access to their Discord server, which is just full of not just Amiga support, but all kinds of retro gaming and podcasts. And there's just a huge community of really nice and great people over there. And so, okay, it doesn't look like it's going to show Exodus on this window. So let me go over to the monitor and show you what it looks like. So this is, if you have Steam or if you've seen Lunchbox, the front end or anything like that, then you should be familiar with this. But so I downloaded the download package that's only the metadata, and I believe it was, we can look it up here in a minute. Exodus 5 download. Well, it doesn't tell us how much it is here, unfortunately, or what the size of it. I think. Oh. I did not mean that. I believe this is the news article. This is where I first saw it the other day. So get the light release. Oh, it's actually downloading the torrent. I don't need to do that. Maybe it says in here. I don't see the size listed here. It's probably in the manual, but this is the download. So you can just go search for Exodus, and then this is the latest build, which is 5. And so this is what you get. If you download the version that has all the, this is the version that just has all the metadata. I'm on IRC right now, buddy. I have an IRC channel that I'm hanging out on right now. Some things die hard. So you can see here that, this is filled with, any DOS game. If we just type in Mario, and there's Mario Brothers VGA. Hey, we'll try that before we wrap things up here. Mario teaches typing, which I have an original of right over here. Mario Game Gallery, some different things. So these are all Mario Andretti. So these are all the games that it knows about in its database. So I haven't installed any of these games, right? So if we go over here to Mario Brothers VGA, we'll get the metadata. It says that I have not installed it, play count 0. It's a VGA unofficial remake of Mario Brothers. I do remember this. I don't know. There's a screenshot. It doesn't say anything about the controls. I'm assuming it's just some sort of keyboard controls here. So let's double click on this, and let me drag this window over here. And it says, would you like to install this game, because it knows I don't have it. So we'll hit yes. Would you like to download it? It says there's, do I have my, yeah, I do have my cursor here. It's 450K. No, sorry, 45K. Would you like to download it? Yes. And as you can see now, it's connecting to there, the Exodus master torrent. Once it connects, this says estimated 7 minutes, but watch this. It's not going to be 7 minutes. Now we're down to almost 10 seconds. So once it kicks in, it's pretty quick. I downloaded a game that I had never heard of before, and it took literally a matter of seconds. And it was like 400 meg. Completed successfully. Would you like to enable aspect correction? Yes. I will do a windowed version and no graphics filter. So now it has installed the game. So now the next time that I double click on this, and if we go over here, we have got Mario Brothers VGA for unregistered use only. Well, that's sad. Now, keys, player one, let's hit default keys, Alt, Z, and X. All right. 5 lies I think will do us. Oh, that sounds loud. You know what I'm going to do here? Oh, I was trying to mute it. We won't be playing this for long. Look at that. Look how much better the oh, whoa. Hey, watch this collision detection. Oh. Look at that happy turtle. It sounds like... Boy, it's very... It's weird physics. Let's see if I can flip that guy over. I'll go get them both. Mario on the moon. Look at that. Boy. Yeah, this is, oh, you saw my, yeah, you know what's funny is, that's, all right, well, this worked. I will show you this. Can I get to this? A friend of mine runs a website called Jolt Country. And if you're familiar with the legacy, if you've read any of my books or know anything, you know that my old co-sysop was Mr. Moon Pie. And so I will show you this. Is that I'm hanging out on IRC, and there's Mr. Moon Pie, which is my bot. I've got set up to run certain things on IRC, but hanging out on FNet. So, yep, IRC, super old school, but old habits die hard. So, well, anyway, that is the Exodus, which is pretty cool. You know what? I'll flip back over here to the left monitor here and just see it. But yeah, it is literally just this front end. Now I'll show you. There's obviously there's some sorting capabilities here. Like obviously we're looking under a platform category or whatever, but we could go under MS DOS, and then we could go down here and we can find these are the games. Of course, I've filtered this. These are the games that I've installed so far, just randomly trying things. Bard's Tale, Willy Beamish. I got Rogue installed. If you saw my recent streams with Rogue, I got Jumpman, Super Star Wars. This game, if there's no box art, you know, it could be an unofficial title. It could be something from overseas. That's the story with this one, the Great Sage. I streamed that the other day. I will, you know what, just for giggles, since I've been on a road kick so much lately, we'll pull this back over here. But yeah, it is, they have basically built the shortcuts in. They have configured, they have batch files that configure DOSBoss for 70, I believe it says 7,200 games. I mean, which is just unbelievable, right? So they've got all the metadata programmed in. They've got all the stuff. So, you know, I mean, one argument you could say is, let's see if what happens here. I know I'm going to hit the wrong button. Oh, what's this going to do? Nope. Okay, it worked. I have my numlock keys also locked to switch the different scenes in OBS. So if I don't hit numlock first, then things go astray in a hurry. But yeah, so they've programmed in all the metadata. They've programmed in all the, configured DOSBox for all the different kinds of different variations, like what was that, 4GW? Was that the DOS thing? They support everything from Sound Blaster, AdLib. You set all that up, what kind of configuration you want. Wow, a hallway of bats. If you didn't see my Rogue stream the other day, Rogue is this was an old game that started on mainframes, and then there were a bunch of different PC ports made, and it changed a little bit over time. But recently, so there was a version in 1985. This is one of the first games I ever played on my dad bought a PC Junior or Brant when they first came out, and we got this game, and so I had a really early build of Rogue, but Epic's I guess purchased the rights to publish it in 85, and that's the version that's on Steam, and it's only $2 or $2.99 on Steam, which isn't bad. I mean, I bought it, but if I'd have waited a week later, I could have had it on Exodus and played it for free. But that version is a little bit slightly later build, and you can tell there's it's got a few things ironed out that are a little different. Notice if you saw my stream the other day, down there where it says experience in the bottom right, I'm leveled, it says 2 of 18, but those have names in the other version. So did I not find the stairs? Did I search this room? Yes. It must mean that there's a hidden room. Let's search here. Oh, I missed the doorway. Boop, doop, doop. So anyway, Exodus is it's not just the fact that they got all that stuff, all that metadata set up, which must have taken an amazing amount of work, and all those different batch files for the configuration of everything. But I'm in a room with no exit. Obvious exits are none. So we'll search for a hidden door. Found one. And this is going to be a short game because I started with some food, it looks like, but I have not found any food yet. I think that's something that they fixed in later versions, is they made food a little bit more accessible. Oh, I got killed by a hobgoblin. There you go. So, no score file. I don't need one on that version. So, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of roguelikes. Tonight's stream is so far off the rails. Like, I was just going to play Mario Brothers on MAME, and we're doing all kinds of stuff, and I love it. I hope it's not driving you guys crazy, because I'm just I'm just kind of trying things out and getting used to how all this stuff works. But let me shrink that just a little bit. And show you probably the most famous roguelike on the Commodore, or most popular, I guess I should say. Let's go into my games folder here. I kind of wish it showed the menu, this part of it on your side, just so you could see how I have everything organized. We'll go into games. We'll go into game base. That's probably the best place to find this. S and Sword of Honor, Sword of Kadesh, the Sword of Fargoal. Let's take a look and see what we have here. Sword of Fargoal. There we go. If you use, if you're into Commodore, you definitely want to get a copy of Assembly 64, which is a free utility, but you can pay for it and register it, which is what I've done. But basically what it does is it will slurp all the games out of multiple different sections, like CSDB and a couple different places. How's the volume on that sound? Is that all right? Get this here. It's going to be all right in a minute because there's literally no sound in this game. Oh, I don't need no stinking instructions. Look at all this. I love when they put fancy graphics at the beginning of very simple looking games. Oh, look at all these cheats somebody built in for us. Unlimited hit points. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. No. Unlimited. Never lose the map. No. Nobody steals from you. No. Demon can't drain. No. Find sword at level 2. That's that'd be fun. So I had this as a kid, and what's funny is I did not put 2 and 2 together. Like, I did not realize that this was... I mean, when I was a kid, I don't think roguelike was a term, you know. See where this is saying wait right now? This is literally generating the dungeon. So it does that each game when it fires up, it generates a brand new dungeon. Which Rogue does too, but obviously Rogue does it much quicker because PC has a lot more processing power than the old Commodore 64. Doesn't make it better, just makes it a little faster. Wow. I mean, if you've ever at night, you've been like, man, I wish I found an old banana laying in my drink. All right, let's see. Whoa. I don't know what any of the commands are. I guess I should have looked that up. I don't know why it's making noises like bad things are about to happen. I mean, what does it do? Did I die? What happened? Well, maybe I was just getting started? Who knows? Who knows what's happening? Here we go. Oh, again? Yeah, oh. I guess I didn't make it very far. Let's take a look. Sword of Fargoal controls. Here we go. Sword of Fargoal controls. Design hints. Oh, press the joystick into the desired. It's joystick based. How did I not know that? Collect experience points. Yada yada yada. Gray scares or treasures or traps. Climb stairs. Okay. Okay. S. Okay. The spells are for different. You gotta hit the number for that. All right. All right. Now we're cooking with grease. Our quest begins. All right, we're ready. Uh-oh. Come on now. Oh, that guy's killing me. Come on, joystick. I beat a guy and I can't move. It's like you attacked me on my hospital bed. All right, hold on here. Let's pause this. This is going bad. Joystick settings. Controller Xbox One. All right, let's put it in port 2. Select fire button. Okay. All right, there we go. You didn't get me, sort of Fargoal guy. I got some treasure. So as you can see, it is very rogue-like. Thus the name. It is a rogue-like. It's not as fast as Rogue. Enchanted weapon. All right. I feel like I have, I mean, it's simpler than Rogue, but I also feel like I have a lot less control, you know, as far as arming myself and doing different things. I also don't like that sound. That sound creeps me out where it's going like that. Treasure. I got a feeling this one is, did I miss an exit here, or is that a corner? Nope, it's a corner. Alright, that's all closed off. That's all closed off. I guess we're going this way, fellas. There's some more treasure. Oh, stairs. Okay. I don't quite want to go down yet. Might find some more good stuff. Well, how would I go down there? Is there another doorway over here? I mean, this game is full of suspense because it takes a while for the suspense to unfold. I don't see any other way out there. All right. Look at that. Yeah, it's not quite as exciting as old Rogue, I'll tell you that. The point of all these games of Rogue and Sword of Fargoal and everything else is to get to the bottom of the dungeon, get an amulet, and get back up. In Rogue, I believe it's on the 26th level. So the goal of Rogue is to go down 26 levels, get an amulet, return up 26 levels, and you win. I've been playing that game since 1983. I've never done it. I've played a lot of Rogue, and I've never successfully... look at that stupid amulet. All right, let's see what we got here. I know. All right, little sword. Oh, it's a California raisin. I'm being chased by a California raisin. I heard it through the grapevine. He's coming for me. Oh boy. I mean, do I? You're not the boss of me. A week. Hey, I killed him. I knew I could do it. Let's see. On Sword of Fargoal, this is the furthest I've ever gotten. No, that's not true. I did do a stream of this like a long time ago, a couple of years ago, and it seems like I got pretty far. But oh, it's a guy in a teddy bear suit. It's a giant panda. Oh, it's a barbarian. Well, I wouldn't have fought him if I thought it wasn't a... Now what is this? Stairs going down, but there's also stairs over there, I found. I believe, so I just started replaying Rogue. I haven't played it in a while, and on the new version that I got on Steam, I think the... Oh, what is that? What is that? Hidden treasure. Gold too heavy? Well, what do you want me to do about that? I guess I can't get it. I don't know. Hidden treasure, gold too heavy. I think I'm on level 18 on, I'm going to guess this is a leprechaun archer. That's my guess. That was an elven ranger. Not a bad guess, actually. Oh. I do like... Oh, level 2. Now, watch out, you stupid monsters. You're going to hear this through the grapevine. I like how the fighting in this game is just done by... you just walk into something and then it just rolls, I guess, for you, and it tells you whether or not you won or not. That's just kind of all it is. Obviously, you can improve... So what is this? Is this more hidden? Gold too heavy. Well, I'd have to read up. I don't know what... I'm guessing I don't have a helium spell to make that lighter. Alright. Level 3. You thought it was exciting before. You wait till you see level 3. I think the furthest I got is level 18 on regular Rogue. And, you get through the first wave of hobgoblins and kestrels and orcs and that kind of stuff and emus. And then you get into the, what are they, aquators or whatever, the ones that kill your armor. And there's a few other things. And then all of a sudden you get into, when you start hitting trolls and centaurs, that will just kill you in like 2 or 3 hits. So that's when you really have to start, using your spells. Let's see, S for, or I for inventory possibly? Or F1? Nope. All right. Well, not for sure. Let's see here. Collect experience points. I like how the monsters kind of sound like Jaws, don't they? Oh! I got attacked. Why didn't somebody tell me? There's a mercenary coming. Shield spells. So there's all your spells. Alright. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you have as much control in this as you do in Rogue for casting spells and stuff like that. Oh, I need magic sack. I mean, there's really so many things you could say about a guy needing a magic sack. And I'm just trying to keep... So what's the deal with this? Alright, we're going to have to figure out how to search for hidden doors or something. I'm just pressing the button, I'm assuming. That will eventually do it, because there's no stairs out of here. No, Pixel, how do I search for hidden doors? I like how every turn, it does sound like Jaws. It's like, duh. Well, let's try this. Sword of Fargoal. Search for hidden door. Is there a search? Is there a hidden? Well, I got bad news. I don't see a way to do that, and I don't. Oh, there's a. Is that? Oh, I thought somebody was going to kill me, but it was me. Yeah, I don't see a way out of this. Oh, you know what? Maybe if I got a feeling I'm going to have to go back up and take a different set of steps down. Because remember there was different sets of steps that went down? This game is not long for this earth, I can tell you. Alright, quest continues. Let's go see if that's what happens here. Oh. Oh, yes. I'm hiding the gold so that I can come back when I get my magic sack. I heard it through the grapevine. Oh my gosh. Well, this is getting serious. A weak werewolf. Hi, guys. I'm a weak werewolf. Alright, well, so far everybody's been weak. That's good. I wonder, I mean, it can't be as, I mean, wouldn't it seem amateurish if you just had to go up and go back down and it ran, because this is not the same level I came down from. So if I had to literally just, good thing and now I'm like a squirrel who's just hiding gold that I find. You know what? My wife watches these cooking shows, And sometimes they do... Oh, an explosion. And sometimes, what did it say? I saw it raise a level. Oh, it's a temple. I see. That's how I raised my level. I wish it had said it was a wheat gargoyle. But she watches these cooking shows, and every now and then they say, oh, I'm going to make a deconstructed thing. One time she tried to make deconstructed nachos, you know. And I was like, what was wrong with constructed nachos? I thought constructed nachos were pretty good. I didn't need the deconstructed ones. Now, these are more stairs up, I believe, right? Oh, wait. All right. And, yeah, I didn't need deconstructed nachos. I thought the original nachos, the original concept of nachos was pretty good. And, right, exactly. Right. Like I thought nachos were a pretty good solution. You put the chips, you put the stuff on it, some meat, some cheese, some vegetables, you know. And I feel like this is an example where they took Rogue and they were like, how can I make it worse? I feel like somebody did that with the beer one time by putting banana in it. Making it with banana bread. It didn't seem like an improved of a concept of beer. I do like, I mean, not that, I don't know, it's a different feeling playing with a joystick versus playing with the keys. A shield spell, all right. Oh, you know what, I didn't go over that other square earlier because I thought it was going to be a trap, but now that I know I could, and I think I hit S. I think I read that to cast a sealing spell or a shield spell. Okay, so there's downstairs. Let's go see what this does. A magic sack! Well, hello, boys. I found me sack. Always after my magic sack, they are. Who's this guy? I mean, he looks like bad news, doesn't he? He doesn't look like a weak something. He looks like death. Oh, he's a monk. Can we talk? Oh, chop. Oh. What's my hit point? 16. All right. Oh, it's going up a little bit. I mean, I kind of feel bad that I just whooped a monk. I mean, he was like, hello, my traveler. I have brought you. Ha, choppy! Sorry, monk. No time for talking in this dungeon. Taste my sword. Taste my boot. Oh, there's some gold, but what will I put it in? How about my magic sack? That's right. That's right. Everybody wants to touch my magic sack. All right, that's not what I meant. Oh boy. Did anybody, I don't know, did anybody hop on and see the pre-show thing? I made a video. I haven't figured out a good way to a swordsman. Oh, all right, we'll take it. I can't figure out on Twitch. Pixel, I'm sure you know this. Oh, we could go. Who's that? That sounded like a Three Stooges knock on the head. Just goes conk. I don't know how to change the information of the game I'm about to be streaming before I start streaming. So it seems like I can only start streaming. I mean, I can only change it. I hit start streaming, and then it says, "Do you want to edit what game you're streaming?" And I go, "Yeah." So it's the announcement that it sends out is always wrong. There's got to be a way to change that. Oh, I just walked into a gargoyle party. There's got to be a better way to do than what I'm doing. There's also got to be. I feel kind of bad when I talk so great on the Commodore 64 and then we're playing this. Oh, there's a monk. Which, I mean, I got to give it, you know, at the time, this was, I think this is at 83, I think is what I saw. So this is, you know, I mean, if you're going to compare it to games, you know, we're talking top-down Ultima type games. We're not quite to Bard's Tale, you know, first-person kind of stuff like that. So, yeah. So, okay, I'm using the Streamlabs for my chat. The chat box that I've got set up there is Streamlabs. So, I'll figure out how to do that. Oh, look down. There's just magic sacks laying around everywhere. Like people littering. Well, welcome to my dungeon. Oh! Sorry, butto. No time for chatting, bucko. I got slaying to do. I didn't see it going down. Alright, yeah, I'll have to go look at Streamlabs and figure out how to do that. Top of Streamlabs are a little pencil. Man, there's a pencil and magic sack joke here. I'm not going to use it. Temple! Did nothing. Eventually I'm going to run into Jaws. I feel like. Oh, who's that? A weak werebear. Werebear. There, bear. There, castle. I think when I started in IT, you basically had to a light spell. Let's do that. Is that just L? A werebear. Well, I thought for... Oh, I see. It's lighting up, it's illuminating a little bit further out, and it's making the game go twice as slow. I can't wait for that spell to wear off. So what I was going to say is, I think when I started in IT, it was mandatory that everybody knew how to quote the Holy Grail. I think that's what everybody did back then. But I would say followed shortly by, oh, what's this? An explosion. That's not good for the old magic sack. But I think Young Frankenstein would also be there. And I mean, let's see, what do we got? Stairs, more stairs, gargoyle. I don't really like the fact that I mean, I suppose it's another explosion. I'm down to 7 hit points. I'm gonna watch what I run into around here. Fortunately, I got this light spell. Nobody better mess with me. I mean, I can't imagine magic sack. A game engine being any slower. I would say I'm trying to think of Young Frankenstein. Definitely, I have said at work. There was a guy that was swapping out tapes one time, tape backups, and he pulled out a not a tape. He pulled out a drive that was active on a server. A set of RAID 5 drives, and he just yanked one out. And I said, "Put the candle back." A weak troll. All right, got him. So I would say there are a few Young Frankenstein quotes. I think if you haven't referred to a coworker as Abby Normal, you're missing out. Oh, a ceiling trap. You lost your map. Oh. Well, that seems rude. I guess it does not respect my light spell. I don't want... Stairs going up. I want the stairs going down. Unfortunately, I kind of remember where they were. Well, let's go back that way. That's rude. I worked with a lovely young woman for a while who was decided that she wanted to get into IT, and somebody decided that they were going to give her a chance in IT. And this poor girl was pretty, and as my friend Emily would say, dumb as a box of hair. And so people would always play tricks on her and leave things. And I remember one time someone left a Post-it note stuck to her monitor with a phone number on it. It said you missed a call or whatever, and there was a phone number. And the name that they put on there was Myra, and then a last name. Now, I was sitting next to this girl. I did not leave the note on her monitor. I wish I had. But I just overheard the conversation. And so this girl dials a phone number, and she says, I'm returning a call. I missed a call from Myra. My remains. And somebody had left the phone number of basically the local funeral home and the name My Remains. And she said it 50 times and didn't get the joke. I mean, she just kept saying it on the phone, saying, okay, so this is, well, I guess I could go down. Oh, I might be able to go through the down here. Oh, wyvern. Oh, that wasn't too bad. But it looked big. His sprite was large. And so, you know, I'm sitting there. I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't know what had that somebody had done this, but I'm listening to this phone call, and she's like, no, my remains I'm trying to get a hold of my remains. I know my remains are there, whatever. And I was like, oh. And in the South, in the United States, in the South, we have a saying where we say "bless your heart," but the way that it's said is not like when you feel somebody, like when you see somebody nice and you. Why is it two? Oh, do I have to get a magic sack for every level? That's a whoa. That was a pit, all right. But what happened? Did I get killed? I wasn't paying attention. Did I hit the trap again, or did I go into the stairs? No, I didn't hit my button for the stairs. Your quest continues. Oh, I must have fallen through. Huh. Oh, I did. I fell through the pit there. Healing potion. Well, was that an H? Let's see. Healing potion. 61 hit points. That's what I'm talking about. And then there's an explosion to blow my face off. That's a good time. It probably would have killed me, though. A swordsman. All right. Let's get those hit points back up. But yeah, I feel so sometimes when you say, like, you know, like you see a kid doing a favor for somebody and you go, oh, bless your heart, you know. But sometimes when you see somebody that's kind of dumb and you go, bless your heart, it's not really a compliment. And this lady on the other end of the phone was like, well, bless your heart. No, somebody's playing a trick on you. And then the lady at the funeral home had to explain the joke to her. She was like, no, someone is playing a joke. My remains? Like, my remains? And she felt so bad about it. That was a fun place to work. What is that? Oh. Healing potion taken. Good idea. Interdimensional something? Is that what that said? I'm not sure I want to tangle with that guy. Who's this? A dimension spider. Can I run? I can run. Oh, he's coming for me. Yeah, well, I like the dimension that he wasn't in. See? That's not a dimension dwarf. It's just a regular dwarf. It's pretty easy. Uh-oh. Dead end for the Flackster. Let's see. These are stairs up. There's stairs down. What else we got over here? Does this loop around? It does. Nope. Oh. Well, that was easy. Let's see if it... Is that... Oh, is that the same guy, I guess? All right. He was hopping dimensions. I took care of that guy. I wasn't afraid. Ask me your questions. I'm not afraid. I guess that's kind of fallen out of vogue with, you know, as far as like the younger IT crowd. I don't hear a lot of people saying, quoting Holy Grail stuff anymore. That's too bad. I saw Spam-A-Lot. It actually came on tour here to Oklahoma. Dead. No, it was so sudden. You know how when people die and they go, oh, it happened so quickly. Oh, that's it. Again, no, I don't think so. All right, well, I think I'll wrap up this tonight. Oh, that was terrible. It just, that's what I hate about Rogue is that they're in sort of Fargoal now. Is that, boy, and it gets you, it's sudden. So, is that a 10? Is that how I would say that in hanging out in the channel there? I see Commander Root. I see, I cannot even pronounce this, FVMH97C. And then, of course, Pixels and Tintin and Z9K9. So definitely some names. I was weakened by something. He punched the dimension out of me. I got dementia from the dimension spider. Yeah, that was a shocking ending to the old Sword of Fargoal. I did not get far, nor did I reach my goal in Fargoal. So anyway, hey, thanks to everybody for hopping on here. I'll do my quick little plugs. My podcast, Sprite Castle, is you can find Sprite Castle and You Don't Know Flack over at podcast.robohead.com. If you do the Amigos feed, then you will at least get Sprite Castle, which is where I play, discuss, and review Commodore 64 games. You guys, if you're here, you already know about the Twitch channel, and these streams do get uploaded to the Amigos YouTube channel, which is Amigos Retro Gaming is the name of their account, and there's a playlist there called Sprite Castle Plays. Or if you go to YouTube and just type in Sprite Castle Plays, you can find those things. Is that everything else to plug? You should follow Pixels at Dawn Gaming. He's got a fun channel, and he plays lots of stuff. He was playing a what was that game you were playing the other day where they were in the mental institution and the people were running around? That game had great stereo sound. I've got these stereo monitor speakers hooked in here, and I kept hearing things in my room, and there was an engine and some other sounds. Yeah, Sanitarium, that's what it was. That's pretty cool. So my games are all I try to keep it to 8 bits, but if you And I saw you streaming a golf game earlier. I left the room. The Amigos or ARG, Aaron and Brent's, they start broadcasting right before my dad comes over on Sunday for coffee. So I always catch the beginning of their show and then I leave. And when I came back in, I caught a little bit of you playing a golf game. So also, you can check out Everything Amiga, which is the website that was hosted by the Amigos. And there's some cool articles. I wrote some Amiga-related game reviews. Hot Shots Golf, yeah. Oh, that's cool. He's doing a tournament. Yeah, I'd like to get some tournament, maybe get some prizes and stuff, maybe some score stuff going on for the Commodore. And like I mentioned before, if you donate to Amigos podcast on Patreon or my Patreon, which is just patreon.com/Rob O'Hara, then you can come hang out with me and Pixels and a bunch of these guys and come hang out on the Discord server and chat about old games and lots of Amiga stuff. And Sprite Castle has its own channel for Commodore talk, and there's there's a lot of ZX Spectrum talk on there and all different kinds of stuff. So thank you guys for coming and checking stuff out, and I will catch you on the Discord. And is Discord better than IRC? Well, I think it's more. It's more centralized. You know what I mean? That was the old problem with IRC, was always finding people and finding channels and keeping track of stuff. So Discord kind of solves that problem. So Tintin, are you on Discord? Are you on the Discord thing? If you're not, send me a email or something, and I'll send you an invite on there, and you should come out there and hang out a little bit. So yeah, if you're not on there, let me know. But yeah, come check it out. So, all right, guys, that's it for me. I will see you guys either on the Discord or you know what I didn't say? Or you come find me on Twitter too. People on Twitter, I'm at Commodore. So I'm everywhere. I'm like that commercial. I've been everywhere, man. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. Good night. Thanks for stopping by.